please confirm? Is my voice is loud and clear? Yes. Done. So let's start the session. And so before starting the session, there is echo is coming. Voice is not clear. Shravanti, can you please re-log in? Others are saying it is clear. Shravanti, can you please re-log in? Might be the issue from your end. Yeah. Before starting the session, let's have a small thing. That is nothing but regarding the videos. So till now they have not uploaded the videos, right? Whatever the videos to the paid students and non-paid students, all of them. So tomorrow by 2 p.m. Tomorrow by 2 p.m. everyone will receive the videos in their classroom. In classroom, regular classroom, everyone will get the free SQL. Everyone. For everyone, you are going to get the videos complete. Everyone, paid students and non-paid students, everyone are going to get the free SQL videos till February 2023. That is till this month end. You'll have that access. The video access will be only for till February 2023 only, and it will be free for everyone. And in meanwhile, you can practice everything. Okay, in this 1 week only, please complete your SQL simultaneously along with me. Daily, every day you practice along with the SQL, right? Dedicate 1 or 2 hours for SQL. That is more than sufficient. Okay, and in today's class and tomorrow's class, we are going to discuss the SQL other commands, whatever the commands we have completed, that is in the previous classes, create command or drop command. These are the things we have completed. In today and tomorrow's class, we are going to cover the other commands. And from Wednesday, we are going to start the select command. That is the most important command, where we are going to have the complete extraction of the data. We are going to extract the data by using the select command. Now, when we are using this select command, we are going to work simultaneously along with the pandas. Okay, just to have a small recap of the pandas, whatever we have discussed, so that now if I show you, if I show that how to connect this Python with SQL, I am going to show you the Python with SQL connection. Once I show the connection, how to connect, and after connecting this one, and how to extract the data from the SQL database directly in the Jupyter notebook itself. No need to open the workbench or no need to write the SQL query also. Once I show you this one, directly you can work using the pandas only. Very simple. In real life, working is very simple for the data scientist, right? But for the interview process or for students who are applying for the data analyst role, for them SQL is also equally important. So that is the reason we are discussing so much. I can get into this Python connection, and equivalent commands directly I can show in the pandas itself, right? So everyone are going to get the videos and the material tomorrow, right? Tomorrow by afternoon you'll receive. Today only, just in the evening hours only, the Naresh IT team has confirmed me that we'll give the videos through the classroom, right? Is that clear, guys? So let's start this SQL session. Now in the SQL, in the last class, whatever we are discussing is, till now, we have discussed data types. What are the different data types in the SQL, right? That is, if it is a numbers, we are working on a numbers, or we are working on a text, or we are working on a time series. These are the 3 options, because we are having only structured data. Okay, structured data will be either numbers or text or time series. These are the options only. Out of these 2, this is called as cross-sectional data. Whatever we have worked on the machine learning till now is on the cross-sectional data. In the time series analysis only, we have worked on the time series data. But whether it is a time series data or cross-sectional data, this combination is called as a structured data. The combination of numbers and text, everything which is in the tabular format, is called as structured data. In the structured data, you can have one numbers or text or time series. These are the only options which is possible. For numbers, the data types we are going to use is int and decimal. These are the 2 data types which we are going to use. In the text, we are going to use char, varchar. Mostly 99.9999% of the cases varchar only. Very rare cases we are going to use the char, varchar and enum. So these are the options when we are going to work on the text data. On time series, date, date time and timestamp. These are the things which we are going to use in the time series data. So these are the data types which we have discussed in the previous class. Now, in today's class, we are going to create the database within that tables, within that connection also. That is schema. How to create the schema that we are going to see in the today's class. So for that, what I'm going to use is in the last class, that is in the introduction to SQL, which already the PDF was uploaded, right? In that, I have explained you, this is the data set. So this is a large amount of data set, where in this large amount of data set, that is purchase number, date of purchase, customer ID, first name, last name, email address, number of complaints, item ID, item name, your unit price in terms of USD, company name and phone number, company's phone number. So total we are having with respect to 12 columns into 10 records. Instead of using this one, we are going to break the entire data into multiple tables. Instead of storing the entire things into this single one, we are going to create this in the multiple tables. So the table 1 we are going to consider is called as customers, and table 2 we are going to consider the table 2 is called as items. These two tables we are going to connect. This customer table we are going to connect here customer ID, where this both will be connected. Similarly, items table we are going to connect by using the item code. So this is the common column name. In this and in this common column name, which we are going to connect, which I have told you already, it is called as RDBMS, and where we are having the relation between the tables. Now here, if you observe in the items, we are having some kind of company name A, the company name A, company A, again, same thing, company B, same phone number. Company A is having the same phone number here, and company B is again having the same phone number. Same item, item code is different, but company ID is same. Can you see this one? Company ID, company, and the headquarters. So here I'm having total 3 tables. What are the 3 tables? One is customers table, one is items tables, and these 2 tables I'm connecting with the sales tables. And connection of these is called as relational database, right? We have discussed. Now the same thing we are going to use using the database schema. So this is called as database schema. Please write in the notes. Now we are going to create the same thing in the inside the database. So this is the table number 1. This is the table number 2, table 3, and table 4. Whenever you want to create a database, within the database, what are the tables you want? First, you have to decide yourself, and first you have to draw the ER diagram on the paper. First, you have to take a paper. On that, you have to draw the ER diagram. This is the first step what you have to do while creating the database. After writing on the paper the ER diagram, the same thing you are going to create inside the database. Please draw the ER diagram. Now you'll understand what is F key, what is primary key, and how to connect the tables, everything you'll understand. Add PK, which is bold, underline, add as a PK. Done. So now here we are having the table where this is the schema. So this is the schema where we want to connect in this way. Total 4 tables are there. The table, this is the first table. First table. This is the table number 2. These 2 tables are not having any kind of FK in their tables. So FK is not there, means they are called as parent table. They are called as parent table. Means first tables, but first you have to design these tables. From that, the child will come. Using this table, the child has came. Using this table, this child has came. Right? These are called as child tables. Right? So the original parent tables are 2 main tables are there. Parent table means which is not having any kind of relation. The original base table. Okay, the base table is called as parent table. So first what we have to do is we have to create the table number 1 followed by table number 2. Then first we have to connect these 2, that is table number 3, and finally we have to connect the table 1 and table 3 to the table 4. This we have to connect. Right? How we are going to connect? Connect means nothing but this one you have to give as a primary key. While creating the table 1, here customer ID, you have to mention this one as the primary key. While creating the table 2, you have to mention this one as the primary key. While creating the table 3, you have to write this one as the foreign key. When you have written the word of foreign key, automatically it will identify where the other primary key of the same name is located, and automatically the both will be connected. Right? Similarly, here by creating this table, you have to write the customer ID foreign key, item code foreign key. Right? Now, here I am going to show you a small example. What is the example I am going to take is sales table, purchase number, which is nothing but primary key, and date of purchase, followed by customer ID, where customer ID is the foreign key. Now this table is connected to the another table called as customers table. Second table is the customers table, where customer ID, which is nothing but PK, and the next one is first name, last name, email address, and number of complaints. Okay, so this is called as customers table. This is called as customers table. Right? So here I am going to take only 2 tables. I am going to consider only 2 tables for easiness, for understanding purpose. So out of these 2 tables, which table you have to create first? The parent table, where you are not having any kind of foreign key. The parent table you have to create. This is the parent table and table number 1. First you have to create this one. From this you have to create the table number 2. How you are going to create the table number 2 means just you have to write for customer ID foreign key. That's it. Automatically both are connected. This column will be connected to this column because here it is the primary key, here it is the foreign key. Right? Now the same thing I am going to do. Right? So what I am going to do is simple example. This is the example. So write in the notes only these 2 tables. Only write only 2 tables. And whatever the tables earlier you have written that 4 tables, right? That is your assignment. You have to create that one. Right? I'm going to show you how to create, and based on that you are going to create. And if you are having any doubts, you can ask me. I will create everything, right? Similar way you have to create remaining. I'm not writing the item code in the table 2 because if I write the item code and if I write FK, then other table should be there. So that is the reason I have deleted the item code and the items table. I'm having only 2 tables and connection between them. Done? So let's start. Yes. Sir, first PK is created. Huh? Yes. PK only created. First table where you are having the primary key. In this table also primary key is available. In this table also, every table will have the primary key, foreign key. But without any foreign key, the pure table is called as parent table. Which is having the foreign key is called as child table. Right? Now, same thing I'm going to create. Let us open the MySQL workbench. Done. So in the last class, I have created the database called as MyDB. So I'm just deleting the MyDB. So nothing I'm having. Just I'm refreshing my schema. Nothing is there. Nothing is there. Okay. I'm starting fresh. Now, first, what is the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to create the MyDB right in the notes. First step is create database. Step number 1, create database. How to create a database? We are having 2 options. Option number 1 and option number 2. Option 1 is write create database is the option number 1. By writing the create database is the option number 1. Create database and write the database name, colon. This is option number 1. So database is created and you can see here in the schemas, that is MyDB. Can you see that MyDB? This is option number 1. Option number 2. For showing the option number 2, I'm going to write create, word called as create, schema. Either small letters or caps lock, that is your choice. Schema, create schema, and schema name is called as SRK, that is also database. This is 2 options. Now see here, SRK also there. SRK and MyDB, 2 options. One is create database is one option. Second option is by using the create schema. Now, done. You already created database which is called as MyDB. Done. Now, here you have not seen that MyDB is available. Once again, you are executing the same code. That is create database MyDB. And you are executing this one once again. Now, once again, you are executing, it is going to throw the error, can't create the database because already the database is exist. So, if it is not exist only, you have to create. If it is existing, means simply ignore that line. So, you can write like this, if not exist. If not exists means, if it is not available only, create the database. If it is already available, simply ignore. So just it is going to throw the warning. This is called as warning symbol. This is called as error symbol. This is called as executed symbol. Green tick mark means it is executed. This mark is executed successfully without error. Executed successfully. This is the meaning is error. You got an error. This is called as warning. That is not a problem. Warning means not a problem. Okay. So what you are saying, if it is not available only, create this one. If it is not available only, if it is already available means ignore. Just ignore. So like this, you can write, no sir, I want to see my error also very clearly miss, then only write the create database. This is the step 1. Next, where you want to create the tables, that you have to use MyDB. Use MyDB means you are going to use that particular database. Now this particular database I am going to use. Now within this database, what is the next step? I want to create the tables. Which table I have to create first? Customers table. Customers table. So create table customers, out of which customer ID and the type of the data type is int, comma, first name varchar with 255. Next, last name varchar of 255. Name can be up to 255 values. Similarly, email address varchar of 255. Number of complaints is equal to int, and I'm going to create a table. Okay, I have created a table. Sir, you created a table, but you have not given the primary key. Na? The first one is primary key, right? So if you want to add the first one as a primary key, just you can add in two ways. That is primary key. In this way, this is the option number 1. Okay, directly you can write after your data type primary key. First you have to write the data type. After that you have to write the constraint. This is called as constraints. The keys and all these things are called as constraints, means conditions. What is meant by constraints? C-O-N-S-T-R-A-I-N-T. Constraint. What is meant by constraint means condition. What is meant by condition? Here primary key is the condition. What is meant by primary key? Primary key is used to connect between the tables. What is the use of primary key? Means used to connect tables. This is the use number 1. Use number 2, it will not accept the duplicates. It will not accept duplicate values. It will not accept duplicates. Means indirectly all values are unique. All values are unique. So primary key will not accept the duplicates. Third point, primary key will not accept the null values. Compulsory you have to fill. Mandatory. Without that, otherwise it will throw the error. If the value you have not filled that value means it will throw the error. So not null values will not be accepted. Null values will not be accepted. It should be unique and it should be non-null. Primary key means unique plus non-null is called as a primary key, and which is used to connect between the tables. So while creating the table itself, you can write here the primary key. No, you have forgot. You have forgot. See, now just now I have forgot, right? I have not created. Primary key I have forgot and I have created the data. Now after that, once you have created in this way, now you can add your table. You can add with respect to the constraints. How to add? Add or you have to do the modifications. Add or modifications or alterations of table. Alterations of table can be done by using alter command. While creating only you have to create, but unexpectedly you have forgot, then you can do the modifications by using the alter. Either by using the alter or simply use the drop table. First you drop that old table and create one more new table. That is second option. Two options you are having, right? So see, for example, first I am going to show you the option number 1. That is I am dropping the table. How to drop a table? Drop table. So can you see here first tables? In the tables, customer table is already created. In the customers table, int and varchar of 255, varchar of 255, varchar of 255 and int. So what I'm going to do, drop the table called as customers. First I'm dropping the table called as customers. Okay, this is option number 1. Now, if you see here, there is no tables, nothing, empty. Customers table was deleted, right? Now, once again, I'm re-executing this one. Customers table by using the primary key, by writing the word called as primary key, right? Now, again, now refresh this one. Again, you can see this. This time, you can see here completely bold with underline. Whichever the column is bold with underline, that particular column is primary key. And side also you can see the word called as PK, which is the primary key. right? This table was created by using the first column with the primary key, table number 1. Okay, this is option number 1. So how to write the primary key for that particular column is, this is the option number 1. Sir, option number 2, assume that you have not created primary key while designing the table, you have forgot to give the primary key. Then what is the second option? For showing the second option, I'm dropping the table. Once again, I'm dropping the table which is called as customers. I'm dropping. Now, once again, I'm executing the create table. This time, can you see there is no primary key? There is no word of primary key and customer ID is not with respect to primary. You have forgot. Now I told you option number 1. What is the first option? Delete the table and recreate by writing just primary key. Write the word called as primary key for whichever the column you want. This is option number 1. Option number 2 is alteration. How you have to do the alteration means by writing this one. Alter table customers. Add primary key of the customer ID. You can do in this way. So now again refresh. Now you can see this one. Alteration was done. Is that clear? One is directly while creating only. If you have forgot while creating means alteration. Second one is alteration. Clear, guys? Done? Similarly, second table. What is the second table? Table number 2. Sales table. So now sales table, I'm going to create the purchase number INT. Date of purchase in terms of date. Customer ID is INT. I'm not going to create the item code. Only these are the 3 columns. Right? Now I'm going to create one more table. This is the table number 2. Again, refresh here. You can see here tables, 2 tables are there. Table number 1 is customers. Table number 2 is sales. In the sales, INT is there, date of purchase, customer ID. But customer ID should be the foreign key. Purchase number should be the primary key. You have forgot to give both of them. What is the other option? What are the 2 options? One is drop. Second option is alter. So how to drop you already know, and how to add means simply by adding the primary key here that you already know. And similarly, how to add the foreign key means, so I will show you both the options. First, I'm going to show you the alter by using the alter. So I'm going to use the alter table called as sales table. Okay, by using the alter called as sales table, and I am executing this one. Now, once again, I'm refreshing. Sales table, purchase number PK added. PK was converted, purchase number was converted to PK. Now, customer ID should be converted to FK. So for doing that one, what I'm going to do, alter table called as sales, add instead of primary key, this time add the foreign key. Instead of primary key, add the foreign key. Which one you want to add as the foreign key? Customer ID. Customer ID has to be added as a foreign key. Reference, where you are going to take the reference means from the customers table within the customer ID. That is the reference. These both should be connected. A reference means for which table you want to connect this one. So I want to connect to the other table of customers which is having the customer ID. For example, let us assume there is a table like this, says, where in the says purchase number, which is a primary key. Okay. Second one is date of purchase. Third one is customer ID. Now let us assume there are 2 other tables are there. In the 2 other tables, one table consists of customer ID and one more table also consists of customer ID. But this customer ID is with respect to medicines. This customer ID is with respect to steel or something. For example, Tata, let us take Tata company. Tata is having multiple things like steel companies are there, IT company is there with respect to, again, steel company is there, chemicals companies, multiple companies are there, right? So for multiple companies, multiple customers will be there, right? For medical, like Tata 1mg, if you go with the Tata 1mg, in the Tata 1mg, customers are different. If you go with the TCS, the client's customer ID is different. So here also you are having the customer ID. Here also you are having the customer ID. This table, foreign key you have written here. this table, which one you want to connect? This one you want to connect her, to this one you want to connect her. To which one you want to connect? That connection is called as reference. Is that clear? So for example, let us take like this. Sir, I want to, this table name is called as medicines. This table name is called as steel, assume, example. Now this one, I want to connect to the medicines customer ID. Then what I have to write? A references of, first word is the table name. What is the table name? Medicines. Within that customer ID. If I want to connect to this one, so a reference with respect to customer ID of the steel, both will be different. So this table to which you want to connect, that you have to give as the reference. And on delete cascade, what is meant by on delete cascade means, for example, whatever you are having the previous one in this table, for example, here you are removing the customer. One customer you have removed. Automatically he has to be removed in the main table also, because these both are connected. So whatever you are doing here, modifications, it has to be impacted on the original one also. If you are deleting here means it has to be deleted here. So the connection, that is called as on delete cascade. If you don't write on delete cascade, here what happens if you don't write this one means, here if you delete also, here the customer ID will be present. If you delete here also, here still it will be available in the child table. So in the parent table, whatever I am deleting, it has to be reflected on the child also. So that is called as on delete cascade. Is that clear? So this is by adding the foreign key. Now I am adding the foreign key. Now again refresh this one. You added the foreign key. Now this one also has been converted to bold. Which columns are having with respect to the constraints like primary key or with respect to foreign key? We are having different constraints. What are the different constraints means? Constraint number 1. First constraint is called as primary key. Is called as first constraint. Which is unique, non-null. You can't give the null values. None of them. And unique values. It should be automatically unique. The combination of these both. Which is used to connect the tables. Second one is called as foreign key. Automatically foreign key, in other table it is the primary key. Third one is called as unique key. Unique. Unique means same thing cannot be repeated. Okay. That particular column will not accept the duplicates. Whichever the column you have given as the unique key, that particular column will not accept the duplicates. Other columns will accept. For example, students only is there. Student's name, first name, student's first name is Siva. My name is Siva. Other person also will have Siva, right? Multiple people will have the Siva word. And with respect to last name, in my case, Ram, Shivaram. In others, Siva Kumar will be there. Siva Krishna will be there. So where Siva will be repeated. So first name, last name, these things can be repeated. But mail ID can be repeated. Any two persons can have the same mail ID. It is not possible, right? So mail ID is the unique. This you are going to consider as the unique. If someone gives the same mail ID, whatever the mail ID I have given here, that is srk.datascience. If others gives the same thing like srk.datascience means, immediately it will throw the error. That this particular thing is repeated. Duplicates are not allowed for the mail ID. That is called as unique key. Next we are having called as non-null. Not null. Not null means it will not accept the null values. That particular column will not accept the null values. For example, first name is phone number. Let us take the phone number and age of the student. For phone number, I am giving the not null as the constraint. Not null means phone number cannot be null. You have to give your phone number 100%. Age, I am not giving. So by default, it is going to take the null values. If you don't give means automatically takes the null values. By default, every column will take the null values. By default. By default, all columns accept the null values. Unless you write not null or primary key. Primary key is by default not null. Includes the not null only. Right? Fifth one, you are having called as default. Default means, for example, you have not given anything, automatically it will consider. Like example, number of years of experience. If you don't give, automatically it is 0 na. Why you are not giving? Because you are not having any kind of experience. By default, it is going to consider that one. That is called as not default, right? So like this, we are having the multiple constraints. The list of constraints. What are the list of constraints, miss? The list of constraints. First one is primary key, foreign key, unique key, and not null and null. Just a minute. So primary key, foreign key, unique key, and default, not null. And last one is auto increment. Auto increment means automatically the next value will be taken. Automatically next value. Increment. It increments to the next one. If you don't fill anything, it will show the null. In that, null will be displayed. Sir, what are all these things? One by one. Let us see one by one. Everything we'll see one by one. Out of which we have completed only the primary key and foreign key. We'll see one by one. Everything. And how to add them and how to remove them. If you don't want in the future, if you want to remove them and if you want to replace, how we can do all these things one by one. Let us see. Right? Default. Default means whatever the default number you are writing, it is going to consider the default value. While creating the default, it is going to consider that. Sir, in the email address column, we'll use varchar, but if there is a number, includes in a varchar means includes the text and numbers combination, including the special symbol also. Characters. Varchar means characters. Varchar means characters. Simply a similar kind of string. How we are having the string in the Python. So it is consists of numbers. It consists of text also. It consists of special characters also. So every mail will have at the rate of gmail.com, right? At the rate of and dot. These two will be there. Right? Next, coming to the foreign key. Can you explain the foreign key? Next, foreign key is nothing but we here the related information will be in the another table. That is not available in this table. For example, let us take like this. Okay, this is the schema. So this schema where, let us take, this is the table. In this table, customer ID is the foreign key. For this table, this is the foreign key. Here 1 is there. What is customer ID 1? Who is customer ID 1? That is available in this table? No. These details of this one will be available in the another table, different table. The details of this one will be available in the next table. That is the foreign key. Same. Yes. Yes. Right. So let us see this one by one. Now let us. So we have seen how to add a primary key and how to add a foreign key, and how to add a unique key. For example, I want to add a unique key in the customers table. I want to add for the email address. Email address, the unique. It can't be duplicate. So email address cannot be duplicate. So alter table customers, add unique key for the email address. For the email address, I want to add as the unique key. So now this, now after refreshing, now you can see this one was converted to bold. So constraint, wherever the constraint is there, automatically that will be converted as bold. Sir, now here it is bold. And here also it is, for example, in the sales also, this customer ID is in the bold. But customer ID is the foreign key, whereas email address is the unique key. Then how to identify whether it is a unique key or a foreign key means, whatever the keys you are having here, you can see here with respect to the foreign keys, the word called as foreign keys. So in the sales table, if you click on the foreign keys, what are the foreign keys available within this table means, it is going to show you. So this is the one. So customer ID is the foreign key within this table, customer ID. Now just click on this one also in this table, customers table. In the customers table, what is the foreign key is available? In the customers table, what is the foreign key is available? Is there any foreign key? No. Where it is available? Only in the sales table. In the sales table, you are having the foreign keys. What is the foreign key? Customer ID. Can you see here? Within the sales table, foreign keys. Within that, can you see here? That is customer ID is the foreign key. Clear now? That you can see in the schema. Whatever the schema we are having, in the schema, you can see which tables are connected to each other, which is the foreign key, which is the primary key. Everything you can observe in the schema. Right? Is that clear? Now, table. Whatever the table I have told you, the table is, first table is called as customers table. Now I know that everything. So this is the customer table, out of which the customer ID is the foreign primary key, which should not be not null. Automatically it has to be increment. Everything I know before itself. Then while creating the table only, I will do all these things. No need of alterations. So how to create while designing the table itself, miss? So just for example, I know everything before itself. What I am going to do? Again, okay. Again, I am going to drop the tables. I'm dropping the table. I'm dropping the table called as sales table. First, I'm dropping the sales table. Just observe this one. Now it is going to throw the error. If I write this one, it is going to throw the error. Why it is going to throw sales table? Because sales table is connected with the customers table. And similarly, I'm going to drop the table called as customers. Right? So these two tables I have deleted. Means nothing. None of the table is there in the MyDB. Again, I'm going to restart. Again, I'm going to work on that one more time. So first, customers table, customer ID int, customer ID should be auto increment. This column should be auto increment. And this column should be my primary key. This column should be my primary key. And first name, varchar, last name, which is this 255 varchar, email address should be unique. This should be the unique. And number of complaints is int. So everything I'm designing while creating the table only. No need to do the alterations. So whatever the alterations you have done there, primary key or with respect to unique key, everything I'm going to do here itself. So while creating only, you are creating this one be unique and this should be your primary key. Just refresh this one and see this. Is that clear? Clear, guys? Next, similarly, how to create the second table called as sales table. I'm creating the second table called as sales table, out of which this is the primary key, which is auto increment, auto underscore increment. It is automatically increment. And what is meant by auto increment? You'll see during the insert values. Once I insert the value, you'll see the what is auto increment. And this one should be my primary key. I'm writing this one as my primary key. And customer ID, which is int date of purchase. Now, how to add the foreign key? Foreign key, you can add here, whatever this one is there, this foreign key, just the same thing I'm copying. So just write the foreign key, which is the foreign key you want. Right? So in this way, you're going to create the foreign key with respect to customer ID, reference to this one on delete cascade. Right? So check manually that corresponds to MySQL SQL version and foreign key customer ID. Just a minute. You are having an error in SQL syntax. Check the manual that corresponds to MySQL. We can create okay, comma. I have missed comma. The thing is comma. Everything is correct, only comma I have missed. Here after the int we have to keep the comma. That's it. Now it will be work. Right? I have forgot to keep the comma of this one. So whenever you are having the separation, each one you have to separate by comma. Right? So in this way you can add the foreign key. So primary key you can add in this same line, or second way of adding primary key is there. One more way of adding the primary key is here also you can add. Add primary key with respect to purchase number. Purchase underscore number. This is one more way of adding the primary key. Either you can add on the same column the primary key, or separately you can add like this. Right? Is that clear, guys? So now I have created two tables, table number 1 and table 2, that is customers, and the second one is called as sales. Clear? Next, if you know this one, which is auto increment, which is default, and which one is everything you know before itself, while creating only you can create. If you don't know, miss, you can do the modifications. Okay? How you can modify that one, miss? Alter the table, add the unique key. You can add the unique key. Alter the table, you can add the primary key. Alter the table, you can add the foreign key. Alter the table default value. For this, the default value you are going to give the int. See, for example, customers table is there. In the customers table, while creating, I have created the customers table. Here the number of complaints. What is the number of complaints is int only. If there is no complaint, what is the meaning of no complaint, miss? Complaints is equal to 0. So I want to add the default. So I want to add the default. Default value is equal to 0. This I want to add. While creating, I can add like this. If I forgot while creating to add like this, I'm going to do the alteration by adding in this way. Alter table customers, modify the column, number of complaints, int default 0. So in this way, you're going to do the alterations. Either while creating or after that. Okay. Next, alter table customers, modify the column, first name, varchar to not null. Not null means 100% you have to fill the value. You can't give the missing values. Missing values will not be accepted. It will throw the error if you are having any missing value. Next, alter table customers, alter the column, number of complaints. If you want, earlier you have added the default value, right? Now you don't want to add the default value. You want to delete the default value. Drop default. Drop default means you are going to drop the constraint called as default constraint. So you are going to drop the default constraint. Right? Guys, don't get confused. Once again, I'm writing the constraints. Once again, I'm writing the constraints. What are I'm having? One is primary key, foreign key, unique key. Up to this, everyone are clear. Next one is not null. Next one is default. Next one is called as auto increment. Next one is on delete cascade. On delete cascade, anyways, you are going to use along with the foreign key only. Along with the foreign key, you are going to use on delete cascade. Right? So basically, you are having these are the 6. Now, out of these 6, okay, primary key, foreign key, okay. There are two options. Every time remember two options. One option is while designing or while creating the table. While creating the table itself, you have to think about each and every column, whether the null values are accepted or not. Whether if any value is missing, means automatically it has to consider the default value or not. This everything you have to, while creating the table itself, you have to do. For example, this is option number 1. If you remember while creating the table itself, well and good. While you have forgot while creating the table. Second one is alterations. Okay. So first, let us forget about alteration. Forget there is no alteration while creating the table only. Now I want to create a table like this, which is called as customers table. While creating the table only, I am writing. The first one is customer ID is the first column. This first column, first you have to write the data type. First you have to write the data type followed by the constraint. Followed by the key. If there is any key, miss, you have to write the key. Last is key. Okay. First customer ID. For this customer ID, what is the, with respect to data type, I'm going to use this. So create table. I'm going to use create table, bracket open. First one is called as customer ID. For customer ID, what is the first data type? First one, you have to write the data type, int. Followed by constraint. Constraint means out of these three, anything if you want to use. Within these three, if anything you want to use, means that you have to write. None of them you don't want to use, means no need to write. So what is the thing I'm going to use is auto increment. Auto increment means automatically when I'm inserting one value, next row will be created automatically. When you do in the Jupyter Notebook shift enter, a new cell will be created automatically. That is the auto increment means. A new row will be automatically created. Okay. So here if I want to do this auto increment, I'm writing auto increment. Okay, I'm writing the auto increment. If you're not interested for auto increment, means remove the auto increment. Followed by key. If for customer ID you want to give any key, what is the key name you want to give? Primary key. Completed. This first column is completed. What is the second column? First name. Column name is first name. Okay. Let me write the same thing in the MySQL only directly. Okay, create. First you write the create table. While creating only, I'm having full clarity. I'm not doing alterations. While creating only, I'm having the full clarity. That is, first one is called as customer ID. Customer underscore ID. Table name is called as customers. Okay. Customer ID is the first column, which is int, out of which auto increment and followed by primary key. First column is completed. Column number 2 is called as first name. Now, first name, what is the data type? Varchar. Up to maximum, how many characters you are accepting? That is your choice. That is your choice. I am accepting only up to 25 letters, not 255. Okay, while designing, I fix it to 25 only. But one of the person, first name is more than 25 characters. Then later I'm going to modify. That I will do the modification. If required, modification I will do. If not required, up to 25. That is my choice. First name of varchar of 25 or 255. Otherwise, you get confused. Miss, write 255 only as per your choice. Okay, data type is completed. Next, whether null or not, unique values only you want. Unique values. If you take unique values, miss, no duplicates will be allowed. Varun is there in the first name, miss, Varun cannot be in the second record. None of the Varuns will be accepted. So whether unique value you want for the first name? No. Null, you want if someone not enters the name, it is okay for you? Not null. So it should not be not null. Compulsory, the person has to enter the name. This is compulsory. Next, it should be unique? No. Primary key? No. Foreign key? No. So constraints out of not null, default, and auto increment. Out of these three, you have selected the not null. And similarly, from primary key, foreign key, unique key, from these three keys, you have selected nothing. So nothing is applicable for this, nothing you have selected. Completed. This one is completed, this column. Next, last name. You are going to use the last name. For this last name, you want with respect to, again, not null. So first you have to write the data type, that is varchar of 255, and primary key or foreign key or unique key, nothing. So next, not null, default, or auto increment. Not null. So not null. It can't be the null. So when you are creating a particular website, there, whatever the name they are writing, compulsory star mark should be there. Compulsory star mark means, what is the meaning of that? Mandatory, you have to fill the value. The first name value you have to fill in the website. Last name compulsory you have to fill. Compulsory, mandatory. Right? Next, once this is completed, next, column number 3. So I'm going to take the email underscore address. What is this? Varchar. Again, varchar of 255. And it can be not null or null is accepted. By default, null will be accepted. By default, if you don't write anything, null will be accepted. Is that your mail ID? Whatever the mail ID is there. For example, there is a value. Here, if the person not enters also is okay for you. If it is okay, miss, don't write anything. If it is no, sir, mail ID is also compulsory. For Naresh IT, mail ID, phone number is compulsory. The person has to enter the phone number. Age, education, everything is optional. That is optional. But mail ID, phone number, both are compulsory. So, for example, this one also compulsory for you, not null. If it is not compulsory, null. Null is accepted, right? Null and unique. Or otherwise, I am writing not null. Not null. It can't accept null values. And that too, it should be unique only. Right? Next, what is the fourth one? Number of complaints. Number underscore complaints. Number of complaints. So let us write number of complaints, which is int. Next, whether the number of complaints can be not null. Yes, if the person is not having he no need to fill. If he is not filling, then what it is has to take? Default value. Default value of 0. Default value of 0. Next, what is the next column? Completed. Completed means close the bracket. After closing the bracket, semicolon. That's it. This, everything you know at the starting itself means this is the procedure. For example, one of them you don't know at the starting, or first one of them you have given a wrong one. Then alteration is the next one. Don't get confused between alterations versus creation. While creating only, if you know everything, means well and good, super. Suddenly you want to change. For example, I have given this one to 25 only. Later I came to know that, or I have given only 2. In a flow, I have pressed that one and I have entered Q. You can do the alteration. One way of alteration is you can do the alteration, or you can delete the table and create the new table. For example, suddenly you have forgot the code of alteration. How to do the alteration for the data type? You have forgot. You have created the entire table like this. Delete the table and create in this place again, write with respect to 255. Again execute. Delete and execute. This is one way. Generally, none of them will do like that in the companies. They will do the alterations. In the interview, they will ask, if any mistake you have done, miss, what is the thing you are going to do, miss? I will delete, sir. Delete you can do because this is the empty table. For example, this table is already filled with 1 lakh records. Now you can't delete the record. Then you can't do that one, right? You can't delete that at that time. Then in that case, we have to do the alterations only. Empty table means no problem. Now only we have created, immediately we are deleting and we are executing immediately. That is not a problem. That too, execution time is of 0.01 second. That is not a big problem for us. Time also not a big deal. So deleting the table and creating the table is not a big deal. But in this case, for example, you are having 1 lakh records. In that case, if you delete means, again, you have to insert 1 lakh records means that is not a simple task. Right? So proper care must be taken while creating the table only. That is the first point. Unexpectedly, you are not able to create a proper table in the starting means, second option is alterations. Creation, alterations. Is that clear now? Now, in this way, you are going to create the table. Now, primary key, you have written here, primary key. And here you have written the word called as unique. Directly you can write here itself, or second way. Primary key you can write here also. You can write the primary key in the bracket customer ID. This is option number 1. Without this one is option number 1. Okay, this whatever the table you are saying is option number 1. Option number 2 is don't write primary key here. You write the primary key here. The word of primary key with a bracket of customer ID. These are the 2 options which you are having. Which option is the best? Which you feel easy, that is the best. Because both of them will give the same answers. Let us try. Let us try whether both of them will give the same answers or not. Okay. So here you have to remove the comma because that is the end. So first let me create drop the table. Otherwise it will throw the error. If I execute this one, it will throw the error because already customers table is existing. Okay. First I have to drop the table. Table called as customers. I am dropping the table called as customers. Okay. So cannot drop the customers because it is connected to the other table with respect to sales. So first you have to drop the sales table. First you have to drop the table called as sales. Whichever the latest table you have created, that you have to drop first. You can't directly delete the parent table. First child has to be deleted, then only parent can be deleted. Right? So I'm dropping the sales table, then I'm dropping the customers table. Now nothing is there. Empty database. Once again fresh, completely new. Again, I'm starting from the creation. Now, here I'm writing the create this one, primary key. Primary key. Okay. Done. Now, can you see this one in the tables customer int auto increment PK, which is primary key, which is in the bold underline. Bold underline means primary key. Email address. Email address is also bold means some constraint is there for that. Either unique key or foreign key. Whether it is a unique key or foreign key means just you have to open here and click on the foreign key. If here nothing is visible means it is the unique key. If something is available there means then it is called as foreign key. Done. This is option number 1. Option number 2. Let me once again delete the table. This time I am writing the foreign key instead of here. I am using the foreign key here. If you are getting confused means whichever easy, that only you remember. Don't remember both the options. But why I'm showing both options means some students already knows the SQL. They feel that this is the correct one. Okay. Both the options are there. We can select as per our choice. Okay. If trainer has explained you only one option means that is not only the option. We are having multiple options. So in this case also you are having the same table, same thing. Both are same. Is that clear? Done. Creation work is clear. Now, while creating you have done any mistakes. One mistake also you have done in the creation, or if you want to do the modifications, all the modifications will be done using the alter command only. In the alter, what are the different options are available? You can add the unique key. You can add the foreign key. You can add the primary key. You can add the not null. You can add the default. You can add the auto increment. All the 6 options you can add. At the same time, all the 6 options you can delete. You can add all the 6 options. You can delete all the 6 options. Is that clear? So how to add the 6 options means, once again, I'm creating the customers table. For creating once again, first I have to drop the customers table. See, again, this time customers table. I'm creating one more time the customers table. So this time I'm not going to use the auto increment. primary key, nothing I am using. Here also unique I am not using. Just I am using only the data type, blindly data type only. Constraint, none of the constraint I have created. While creating, I have not used none of them. So now I want to add the constraints for customer ID. I want to add the constraints with respect to primary key. For first name, I want to add the constraint called as not null. For last name, I want to add the constraint called as not null. For email address, I want to add the constraint called as unique. For number of complaints, I want to add the constraint called as default 0. These are the constraints I want to add. So let us add all the constraints for each of the columns separately. Before doing that, drop the table. I'm dropping the table called as customers. Again, I'm deleting that one, the old one. Whatever the existing one is there, I'm deleting. Right? Now, this time I'm creating a new table with only the data types. Nothing constraint is there. I have not given one constraint also. None of the constraint I have given while creating. Only data type I have created. Now I'm adding first for the customer's email address, I'm adding the unique key. First I'm adding here the word called as unique. So add the word called as unique. How to add? Now you can see in the schema. In the schema, customers table, email address, added. Customer ID is not there. Only this one has been converted to bold. Unique was added. Next. Sir, whether it is a unique or whether it is a foreign key, how you can know? Just click on this. Just open here. Foreign keys, nothing is there. So automatically this is the unique key only. Right? Next, I'm adding the customer ID as my primary key. Just click on this. Again, refresh. Converted as primary key. Next, you want to add with respect to in the customers, this time you want to add the number of complaints default 0. This is the constraint. For number of complaints, default constraint. So how you can add alter table customers, modify column. You are modifying. You are not adding. Keys will be added. These will be modified. So modify the column number of complaints int default is equal to 0. Okay. Next, first name. First name, modify the column to not null. Similarly, last name. If you want last name, copy. Modify the column called as last name. Last name with not null. Done. So customer ID creation we have seen with primary key. First name we have seen with respect not null. Last name with not null. Email address with unique key. And number of complaints with default. Every constraint is added. So while creating you can do that one, or by alteration you can add the constraints. Clear guys? Till now it is clear, or any questions till now? Don't ask the question which is auto increment, that I will explain during the insert. In the insert you will understand auto increment clearly while inserting. Right? Is that clear guys? Next. Automatically it is also but primary key is used to connect the tables now. Here yes. For example, unless you write as the primary key, it can't be used as the foreign key in the under table. For example, here I have taken this one. Whatever you asked the question is customer's ID. Customer ID is a unique, not null, along with the primary. Primary means by default these two are included. You don't need to write separately. Now your question is email ID. For email ID, I am writing unique, at the same time not null. But I am not using the word called as primary key. Without using the word of primary key, just I am writing unique and not null for the email ID. Now this email ID is not in the other table. So for example, if you want to connect this one to other table only, you have to write the word called as primary key. If you don't want to connect means no need to use the primary key. Primary key means which is the used to connect to other tables. By using the primary key and foreign key, the tables will be connected to each other. Right? Is that clear? Next, alterations. So in this way, we are going to do the alterations. Next, if you want to do the alterations in that number of complaints, what is the number of complaints? Default is 0, but you don't want to give the default value. You want to delete the default. Now what you are going to do? That constraint you want to delete. Whatever the constraint you have added, that constraint you want to delete. Now you are going to do the alteration table, alter column, number of complaints, drop default. Whatever the default constraint you have given, that you are going to drop. The constraint you can drop by using drop. Right? Similarly, now you want to have not null to null. For example, first name you have given as not null. Now you are accepting null values also. You want to change to null. What you have to do is alter table customers, modify column first name to null. From non-null to now it is going to be converted to null. Null means it is going to accept the null values. Earlier it will not accept the null values. Now it is going to accept the null values also. Next, similarly, modify the column purchase number with auto increment. So for example, here int pk only is there. Auto increment is not there. You want to add the auto increment means just you can add the auto increment also. Right? So sales table is not there, right? In this way, you can add the things. Similarly, if you want to drop, so I'm going to create the second table. Let us create the second table. What is the second table? Sales table. So this is the sales table. In the sales table, I'm writing only the data types. int, date, int, no foreign key, no primary key, nothing. Nothing is there. A table only with respect to int, date, and int. 3 columns are there. Without writing the constraints, I have created the table. Now for this table, first primary key, I want to add the primary key for the purchase number. How to add the primary key for the purchase number? Alter table says add the primary key. Whenever you want to add a primary key, add primary key. Done. Now similarly, after adding the primary key, what is the next in the sales table? Date normal, and this one also normal. And now you want to add the primary key added, foreign key. Now you want to add the foreign key. How to add the foreign key later? In this way, just add the foreign key while creating or later, 2 options, right? Similarly, now if you want to drop a column, how to add a column I have shown you. How to drop a column. Similarly, how to drop a foreign key. If you're not interested on that particular foreign key, you want to drop, just you can use the drop the foreign key. You can add the primary key, you can drop the foreign everything. Every constraint can be added, every constraint can be dropped. All the 6 constraints can be added later using the alter command. Every 6 constraints can be dropped using the alter command. Is that clear? So the same thing, everything, whatever I have discussed, everything is in the Word document. Okay. Earlier I have not shared that one, but today I'm going to share immediately after the class. Okay. Within 5 minutes, I'll share you. So in this, everything step by step is there. Okay. Create database and how to use the database and create that table, and how to create the second table, and alter. In the alter, how to alter and how to add a single column, how to add a multiple columns. Similarly, how to rename the column, how to add a primary key, how to add a foreign key, how to add a with respect to unique key, how to add a unique key, and how to drop a foreign key if you want to drop a foreign key. Similarly, if you want to add a default, and how to drop the default, how to add and how to drop. Similarly, with respect to null and not null, null and not null, both of them, right? So how to drop a column, this we have discussed in the last class. How to add a column and how to drop a column, and how to modify the position of the column. This also we have discussed in the last class. So all this comes under alterations. Is that clear? Any questions? How to create the tables only we have completed. Till now what we have done is creating the table. Whether starting or whether doing alteration, finally we have created the table. The two tables, whatever the two tables have drawn, that was created. Clear up to here? Next, I want to insert. If you want to drop a table, means drop table. If you want to drop database, means drop the database. Similarly, rename. If you want to rename the table name, this already we have discussed in the last class. Now, next one is insert. Now you'll understand. Okay. Yeah, recording videos I'll send, notes I'll send, everything I'll send. Don't worry. Right? Notes immediately within maximum by 9:15. 9 o'clock the class will be completed, or 9:10. Maximum 9:10. By 9:15 you'll get the notes. 100% it will be available. Not 100%, 300% guarantee. Right? Every modification is already done. 100% I'm going to upload immediately, and you can practice today night or tomorrow morning as per your choice. But practice. Okay? 99.99999999% 99.9999% in the real life, while creating the table only, we'll take all the precautions. We'll think, okay, this column can consist of null, not null. Everything we'll discuss, we'll think about while creating the table only. While creating the table only. Before creating the table, first we'll think that how many total values we are going to get. How many things we are going to collect from the customer. For example, a bank person is there. Whether to predict a loan or to reject a loan. For that, first application form will be there. In the application form, what is the first one will be there? Name. So the same thing, you are going to write in the application form. In the application form, you are going to fill with respect to Sivarama Krishna. Something you are writing in the application form. With your pen, you have written this one. That executive, whoever the executive has collected the application form, they are going to enter in their system. In their system, wherever the name is there, they are going to fill this one. So in the application form, whatever the things are there, in the system also the same things will be available. In the website, the same will be available. So when these are all fixed every time, automatically in the backend, the database is also fixed with the table name. Table name, which are the columns it is going to collect, everything is already fixed. So before creating the application form only, first we have to think what is in the application form, what are the things we have to include. First we'll create the application form. HDFC Bank, first they'll create the application form. After that, oh, sir, in the application form, there is a mistake. I'm notifying this is the new application form. Now fill. They'll not give like that, right? So proper care will be taken while creating the application form itself. In the first stage only, they'll take the proper care. They'll not have in a hurry that in 5 minutes, they have to create the entire schema. The entire schema, before creating that one, they are going to write the ER diagram. In the ER diagram, what are the tables they have to create and what are the column names they have to take, everything they'll have the proper care in the starting itself, and they'll discuss and they'll finalize, and after getting the approval from the team leader only, they'll create the table. That is schema they'll create. First, they are going to do on a paper. On a paper, they are going to write the ER diagram. And the team is going to discuss what are the things will be collected and which tables has to be connected. All these things the team is going to discuss, and they are going to decide the ER diagram. Once the ER diagram is decided, they are going to get the approval from the team leader in the meetings. The team leader will say that, okay, create the schema. And they are going to create the table. Once the table is created, once the database and all the tables are created, this table will be integrated with the website. In the website, the people are going to fill the values. Every time they fill the values, it will be stored in the database. That is the same thing what was happened in the Naresh IT. In the Naresh IT website, if you open, there is a called as name, email ID, phone number, which is the course you are interested. And down there is a submit option. Right? So these four will be connected to a table. The table name is called as inquiry table. This is table name is called as inquiry table along with the date. Automatically date will be filled. The date will be automatically selected. You are not going to write the date. So in the inquiry form, the date will be there. And along with the date, your name, mail ID, phone number, along with the course which you are interested. Now, the database team, whoever the database team in the Naresh IT is there, they are going to extract the data wherever the course is equal to data science. Now they will get the details, all the details they will get. Out of these details, whoever has inquired, now what is the last batch was completed is, for example, on the 6th. Okay. Now after 6th, any new students has inquired for the data science, for them they are going to send once again the SMS that there is a new data science batch is getting started in Naresh IT, a new mail ID or with respect to mail or phone number. So this list, whatever the list is there, this list they are going to share to the marketing team. Now the marketing team, by taking the list, they'll call to the persons. Sir, you have inquired at Naresh IT regarding this data science course. So next batch is going to start in this Monday by SRK. They'll explain. This is the back-end process. Right? So once they collect the data, they'll do the marketing. And they'll get in contact with the students. After collecting the fees, they'll not get in contact with everyone else. Common. Okay. Right? Now, let us take this. Now, for example, if you want to insert the values, okay, assume that I'm going to create the table called as employees, a new table, okay, which we have discussed in the last class, or anything as per your choice. The same table, in that only you can insert the values also. Okay. Now, here I'm going to take the employees. Table name is called as employees, a new table, completely a new table. Okay, completely a new table once again. Okay, or otherwise drop the entire database, the previous one, nothing is there. Now again, everything is empty. Create a new one. Once again, you create a new one. Now in this new one, you are having use MyDB. Don't forget to use MyDB, otherwise it will throw the error. Okay, so now you are going to create called as employees. So this employees table consists of employee ID, first name, hourly pay, hire date. Only the side I have written only the data types. No, nothing constraint is available. None of the constraint is available. By default, null or not null? By default. By default, it is going to accept the null values. It is going to accept the null values. Everything is by default is null. Okay, everything will accept the null values. Each and everything will accept the null values. Now, once you have created the table employees, now what you are going to do is, you are going to insert the values. So, how to insert the values means, insert into employees table. Values, the first value. Before inserting, I am writing here select command. Select star from employees. Employees table. Select star from the employees. So here, is there any value? Nothing. None of the value is available. Right? Now, here what I'm going to do is insert into employees values. What are the values you want to insert means, in the employee ID place 1. Followed by first name is Siva. Followed by Ram. Hourly pay is 10.25. Hire date is 2021 January 1st. So now I'm executing this one. Now the first row was inserted. Now again I'm going to check. In this way, you are going to insert the values. So total, how many columns are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So total in this 5 values should be there. If you have written only 3 values, it is going to throw the error. If you write only 3 values means it will throw the error. Sir, without error, how we can get? That we'll see. Insert into employees. Insert is the command. Into employees table. In which table you want to insert the values means employees table. What are the values you want to insert means these are the values. Now, after that, now if you want to insert multiple values at a time, not single value, single record, multiple values you want to insert into employees values 2 comma, first name is Sai, second last name is Teja. This is the values. So like this, you are going to insert the values. Again, execute once again. Select star from employees. See, in this way, you have inserted the values. 1, First time you have inserted only one record with respect to 1. Second time you are inserting the values 2, 3, 4, 5. Right? Now what I'm going to do is, I'm going to take once again the insert command. Whatever the insert command is there, insert, copy, as it is. Insert command, again values is 1, again Siva, again everything is same. Again I'm executing. Now if you see this select star from employees. So if you see here, again 1, again Siva, again Ram, again everything. Duplicates are allowed. Everything duplicates are allowed. I don't want the duplicates. I want my employee ID as a primary key. What I have to do? How to add a primary key for this particular table? Alter table. What is the table? Employees. Add primary key. What is the primary key? Employee ID. Employee underscore ID. This is the one. So now I'm going to execute this one. Primary duplicate entry is already there. So it is going to throw that duplicate entry is there. Now you can't use with respect to the primary key. So now what I'm going to do is, I'm going to delete that particular record. Or option number 2 is, instead of deleting the particular record, if I explain the delete particular record means again I have to explain the delete command. Instead of that, I'll drop. Instead of that, I'm dropping the table, again employees. Okay, and I'm creating the table. But in real life, you are not going to do that one. You have to delete. That I'll show in the later, because till now delete command is not executed, right? Again, if I start a delete miss. So now, before starting itself, now first let me select this employee ID as the primary key. Just now I have created the table. After creating the table, immediately I'm going to use employee ID as the primary key. Now just open this one. Now in this, only empty. Everything is empty. Nothing is there. Right? Now I'm going to insert the values. Okay, inserted. Now after inserting, again you are going to check. Whatever you have done earlier, the same thing I'm doing. Now after that, this time you are going to insert these values. Okay, again it has successfully inserted. Again you are going to check with respect to select star from employees. Okay, so you are having total 1 to 5. Now what you are going to do? Again you are going to insert a new value, this one, where the primary key is 1. Now what you are going to do is, here, see, it is going to throw the error duplicate entry 1 for the key employees, employee ID, where it is a primary key. For primary key, duplicates are not allowed. Instead of this one, only this is the primary key, but whereas this is accepted, this is accepted, this is accepted, this is accepted. Just let us do once again this one. See, it is accepting. Primary key only will not accept the duplicates. Or if you write the unique key, that will not accept the duplicates. Once the entire values are inserted and later you want to add the constraints, means we can't add the constraints. So that is the reason proper care has to be taken by creating the table only. Before inserting the values only. Before inserting the values only, proper care must be taken. Otherwise, it is a long process. You can later also do, but it is a long process comparatively. Now, so here I'm going to insert the employees. Next value is 7. Out of 7, Shiva, Kumar. Total 5 values should be there, but I'm inserting only 3 values. A record is of having 3 values. So it is going to throw the error. Column count doesn't match the value count in the row. In the row, you should have total 5 values. Here, this particular table can consist of 5 values, but you have given only 3 values. So, but these 3 values, what are the 3 values? Means employee ID, first name, last name. Remaining 2, you should have the null. whatever the hourly pay and whatever the high rate is there, both of them should be null. By default, null is accepted. So clearly write employee ID, comma, first name, comma, last name. So automatically this 6 will be considered in the employee ID only. Siva will be considered in the first name. Kumar will be considered in the last name. Now what about the high rate? Null. What about the hourly pay? Null. Since you have not given the values, it is automatically considering the null values. So I'm writing like this. Right? Now let us see the table. In the table, now you can see here, Siva, Kumar is there. These both are null and null. Both of them are null. Because null is accepted for the hourly pay, null is accepted for the high rate. For example, you have given the constraint that hourly pay cannot be null, not null. Then it is going to throw the error. Then you have to insert the value on. Compulsory, you have to give the value, some value. Right? Is that clear, guys? Sir, here itself I can give the null values without writing this one, miss? Yes, here itself you can give. For example, I am going to create one more row called as number 8. Shiva, Kumar. Shiva can be repeated, Kumar can be repeated because there is no problem. Primary key cannot be repeated. Here itself you can give by writing null, comma, null. So again, you can get this. Just execute this one. You can see here. Either this way, the both of them, whatever the missing values are there, missing values you have to write clearly null, or whichever the values you want to fill, that one only you have to select. Clear, guys? So now, what is your task? Task number 1. Task number 1 is called as revision. Revise entire from the starting to ending, whatever I have explained in the same way. Don't apply directly. First revise. Whoever are the first time learners, do the revision. Whoever feels that I already know the SQL and I'm very good at SQL, continue with whatever you want. For the learners who are listening for the first time SQL only, for them I'm saying clearly, first you do the revision. In order to not to get confused, miss, revise. While revising, understand very clearly step by step. In the notes, you write as per your understanding. Every point you write as per your understanding. Don't by heart none of them. As per your understanding, whatever you understand, write everything. While writing, if you get any doubts, write that doubts also in the notes. Keep the heading called as doubts. In that, write the questions. What are the questions you are getting? And try to solve those questions on your own. Without asking your friend, mentor or SRK. Try to solve on your own. After trying to solve on your own, still you are not able to do that one, then you can ask with, right? Now, second step, what you have to do? Once you have revised, understand everything is clear. If you feel it is clear, without by-hearting, if you feel it is clear only, then only the second step. What is the second step, miss? Whatever is in the PPT, same table you have to create. Scheme in the PPT, whatever the schema is there, create the same schema with table 4 tables and values, whatever the in the table, whatever the values are there in the PPT, already there is a values. So these are the values, right? So use all the values and you only fill the values and create this one. That is your task. Create the tables perfectly, whatever I have shown here. As it is, the table name should be there. As it is, the column name should be there. Everything should be the same. Database name is as per your choice. That is not a problem, right? Table name should be as it is. Along with the as it is, the values. Is that clear? Create the table 1, table 2, table 3. And first step is write the schema in the notes. Write schema, that is ER diagram. After writing the ER diagram, identify which are the parent nodes, parent table, which are the child tables. And based on that, add the constraints. Using the constraints, create the 4 tables. After creating the 4 tables, now insert the values. In the 4 tables, you insert the values. Now there will be a question. Sir, here in the schema, you are showing 4 tables. But in this slide, there are only 3 tables now. Where is the 4th table value? You identify that. Easy. In the fourth table, what is there? Actually, in the third table, the extension of third table only. That is company A, instead of writing this one. In the table number 3, in this schema, in this table, what are the third table it is having is item code, item, unit price, company ID. Only 4 are there. But here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 are there. Out of which I have created first 4 and next 3 I have created a separate table. By common thing is company ID is the common one. In the both of them, company ID is the common one. Right? Is that clear, guys? That is your assignment. Not assignment, homework. Okay? Revise and do this work. That is the end of the session, and I'm going to upload the notes in 5 minutes. And the recordings you are going to get by tomorrow afternoon 2 p.m. Okay, all the recordings Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday and Monday. 4 days recordings you are going to get by tomorrow 2 p.m. That's it. In the classroom for every student. Saturday there is no class. Friday, Saturday there is no class, right? Yes, Shubham. In the first table, which column has to be connected to other tables? We have to write the PK. In the second table, which has to be connected? We have to write the FK. Exactly. Uninstall చేశాక యూజర్స్ లోకి వెళ్ళాక SQL అని ఒక ఫోల్డర్ ఉంటుంది. మీరు సి ఓపెన్ చేయండి. సిలో SQL అని టైప్ చేయండి. ఎన్ని SQL ఫైల్స్ కనిపిస్తాయి అన్ని డిలీట్ కొట్టేయండి. అన్ని డిలీట్ కొట్టేశాక మళ్ళీ సిస్టమ్ రీస్టార్ట్ చేయండి. రీస్టార్ట్ చేశాక ఇన్స్టాల్ చేయండి. సి డ్రైవ్ లో క్లిక్ చేయండి. సి డ్రైవ్ లోకి వెళ్ళి MySQL అని టైప్ చేయండి. చాలు, మీకు అన్ని ఫోల్డర్స్ వస్తాయి. అవన్నీ బ్యాక్ లో క్రియేట్ అయిపోయాయి. ఎందుకంటే ఇన్స్టాలేషన్ మధ్యలో అయిపోయింది అన్నారు కదా. సో మరి అవన్నీ డౌన్లోడ్ అయిపోయి ఇన్స్టాల్ అయిపోయాయి కదా. సో దాన్ని మళ్ళీ రీఇన్స్టాల్ చేసినప్పుడు ఎర్రర్స్ వస్తాయి. క్లీన్ చేసినప్పుడు పూర్తిగా క్లీన్ చేసేయాలన్నమాట, కంప్లీట్ గా. రైట్? ఓకే, డన్. Priyanka is clear, right? Next, Geeta. So for keys we are using add. Yes, that is the syntax. We have to use the add unique key, add foreign key, add primary key. Add, we have to use add. For others, we have to use modify. We have to use the modify column. Done. Sai Nagen, next Geeta is clear. Next, Chaitanya. Sir, for videos, paid students 6 months validity in us, sir. Why not SQL videos? This videos I am giving for free of cost, right? So that is the reason. Try to cover and write the notes, everything step by step. Focus for this next week only on the SQL. By this Friday, SQL will be completed, right? Friday, SQL will be completed. Saturday, Sunday also, you focus only on the SQL. And write in the notes very clearly, step by step. Sir, how many PKs can be used in the first table? Is there any restrictions? No. At a time, you can use one or more. You can use more columns also as the PK. Next, Shubham. I already told you, right? The same thing, whatever you have written, which columns has to be connected to the other table, that we have to use in the PK in one table, FK in the another table. In the parent table, it should be as a PK. In the child table, it should be as the FK. For the constraints, we have to use modify. Yes, Mohammed, exactly. I'm going to share you that PDF, right? Step by step, they will be very clear how to add the constraint, how to add the primary key, how to add the foreign key, how to delete the primary key, how to delete the foreign key. Everything will be there. Every constraint, how to add in the later stage, how to delete in the later stage. Everything will be there. Just practice one by one. Whatever the order I have written in the notes, just follow that one by one. Next, Priyanka, sir, SQL have issue that is fail and forbidden when get downloaded. Sorry, I didn't get your question, Priyanka. Sir, can you teach us how to upload tables in the portal and how to get the data in the SQL database? Yes, we'll discuss. Satish, we'll see in the later stage. Is in not null name cannot be repeated? Yes, their repetition is not accepted. Not null means null values are not accepted. Whichever is having the not null, that cannot be accepted in null values. Example, let us take like this. In this example, here I'm going to create a table called as sales table. Okay, this is the sales table, out of which the sales table, let us delete all these things. Okay, just delete all these things. This is the empty sales table where I'm having just int and not null. That's it. Okay, this is the table. Let us execute. Okay, table was created. In this table, you want to add the values. So how to add the values? By using the insert command. So just you are going to use the insert. How you are going to use the insert in this table? Insert into the table. What is the table name is called as sales. Inside that values. What are the values you want to insert? First value is 1. Second value is date of purchase. Date of purchase, I am going to take today's date, 2023, and month is February, and date is 13th. Okay, comma, customer ID. Whatever the customer ID I am having, customer ID is 45 something, whatever the customer ID name, and close. Right, I'm going to execute. Now, if you open this sales table, whatever the select star from sales table called as sales, and now if you see here, it is having this one. Now here, while inserting, I have told it is not null. Not null means null values is not accepted. For example, I am writing like this: insert one more time. I am inserting one more time. Insert this time in the first position I am writing null. First one should be null, and the second one should be date of this one, and customer ID of 46 something. Okay, now if I am executing this one, it is going to throw the error because the column purchase number cannot be the null. Because while creating the table, you clearly told that this column can't be the null, not null. So it can't be the null. You have to fill some value. For example, I am filling the value with 1 only. Duplicate is allowed. Null is not allowed. Duplicate is allowed because it is not a primary key. Now, so again, let us see this one. So let's start from the tables. We'll see. Duplicate is allowed. Null is not accepting, but duplicates are accepted. Is your question is clear? Yes. Sir, what we do if we forget MySQL password? Reinstall. Uninstall and reinstall. That is the best option. It is very difficult to retrieve the password of MySQL. A very big process is there. Instead of that, simply uninstall and install. That is best. Sir, instead of writing 0, if I write, instead of writing null, if I write 0 means 0 is considered as a value. It is considered as one of the value. Santosh, sir, take my question. Santosh, can you retype your question once again? Copy paste that one, please. I have missed it somewhere. Mohammed, I am also having the issue in MySQL. It is showing port and host error. You have not properly installed somewhere the connections you have not given properly while installing. That is the reason installation care must be taken. That is the reason I have shown step by step. And even I have uploaded the same thing, the entire PDF step by step, where you have to execute the, where you have to click on the execute button, where you have to click on that, everything. In that case, if you are getting any error while it is not opening, the MySQL is not getting open, miss, please uninstall and install. Rectifying the error is very difficult. If you type the same question in the Google also, you'll not get the proper answer. Primary key should be there for every table, sir. It is not compulsory. Pavani, it is not compulsory, right? For example, earlier example, whatever I have chosen here, sales table, I have created just now, right? In this sales table, did I use any primary key? Nothing, right? It is not compulsory. If you want to connect only primary key and foreign key is compulsory. Sir, I have Oracle installations problem. After download file, Oracle, how solve this issue, not getting configurations and install? Just download from whatever I have given in the drive. Just use the download. Santosh, download whatever I have uploaded in the drive. And follow the steps. Next, Sai Nagendra. Sir, PK and FK getting confused. Please explain once. In the whatever the PK, which are the two tables you want to connect? For example, I'm writing this one. Let us take like this. Okay. Yeah. Just 2 minutes. So let us take this example. Okay, this table you want again divide into two parts. Okay, what I'm going to do, first part I'm going to take as item code. Second one, item. Third one, unit price in USD and the company ID. This is the fourth column. 4 columns I have taken here. Now I'm going to take in another table company ID in the another table because this is getting repeated. So I don't want repetition, miss. I'm going to create this one in the another table. Company ID, company and headquarters phone number. Whatever the phone number of the company is there, that company. So these are the two tables. This one table I have created into two tables. Okay. Now in this company ID is there, in this also company ID is there. Now company ID here, wherever the original data is there, the company details are there. This is the primary key. This company ID will be, details will be here. This is the foreign key. Right? And these both has to be connected to each other. This table and in this table, these both will be connected to each other. Is that clear? Yes. Done, guys. So if you are not having any questions, you can leave. Sir, how to check whether we are able to make the table connections properly or not? Yes, that is one of the important, and that we'll discuss in the tomorrow's class. Sivashankar. Right? Done. Whatever we have not done, that we'll see in one by one. So much of things we have to discuss, right? Yes, done. We'll do one by one. At least one foreign key should be there to connect. Yes, exactly. At least one foreign key should be there. Without foreign key and primary key, we can't connect. Minimum one primary key, one foreign key is required to connect between the tables. Otherwise, we can't connect. Done? Right, guys. We'll meet tomorrow and we'll discuss remaining part.